Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is June 1st, and we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery here. You can see that trough and that storm system over the Gulf of Alaska. You can see all the thunderstorms firing up across a lot of the Intermountain West here and some across the plains. That's where I'm out chasing here and probably will be so tomorrow for my last day for a while here before maybe I head back out in later June. But mainly across Canada here, we're going to build a really big ridge, and then eventually the ridge is going to extend out across from the Pacific Northwest, and we're going to remain above average temperatures here and below average precipitation here, and we'll take a look at that in some detail here in a moment. This is looking at what I got today here, Colorado Nebraska border. You can kind of see this rotating mesocyclone here with some nice yellow behind that. Had a chance for some landspout tornadoes today, but didn't quite happen. Saw some cool lightning and some cool shelf clouds as well. This is one of the lightning shots I got there with the wind turbine, the wind farm there in the foreground. But yeah, it was a nice colorful day out there. Got a nice time lapse on the drone. We'll be out here again tomorrow trying again. This is looking at SeaTac for the month of May. You know, we were cool here the last 4 days, and we just dipped below the all-time record high, or the record warmest May for Seattle. So we just finished in second place there, but a very dry month overall. Less than an inch of rain than normal for this time of year is 1.88 for the month of May. So almost half there of what we normally get. And this is looking at Seattle rainfall stats here for January 1st through May 31st here, 2023 and 2022. The number of days with measurable rain, 78 days here. Normal rainfall is 18.77. We've only got 12.8 this year, so almost 6 inches below average. As of last year at this time, we were about almost 4 inches above average here. So you can see it's been a pretty warm and dry year here so far across Pacific Northwest. Looks like it's going to continue on in here through at least the next week or so. This is looking at Spokane National Weather Service. Check it out as we go through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on into next week. Look at the temperatures rising here across a lot of eastern Washington in towards eastern Oregon, Idaho as well. And this is going to be the case for much of the Pacific Northwest. This is looking at the wider view of things. There's Alaska. We got Washington, Oregon here. Check out this ridge starting to build across Canada. I'm going to put this into motion. You can see that troughing over the Gulf of Alaska, but you can see it dying off there. We start to build this ridge here, especially as we go on into next week here across Pacific Northwest. Going to warm up quite nicely, and you can see that troughing kind of down there over California, portions of Mexico, the desert Southwest, and the ridging over the Pacific Northwest. Take a look at the GFS here, and you can see something similar, that ridging building over Canada there, and you can see the troughing kind of hanging out a bit here towards western BC. It takes sweet time going away, but you can clearly see that ridging building in there, but no major heat dome. We're not looking at a major heat wave. We're probably not going to be breaking a lot of record temperatures with this, but we're definitely going to be above average temperature here across the Pacific Northwest. This is looking at 16-day precipitation anomaly, and look at Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and portions of southeast Oregon above normal. But you can see this dry signal here, especially across the Cascades up into BC, western Washington, western Oregon as well. This is looking at 2-meter temperature anomaly here, and this is the GFS. And I'm just going to kind of scroll through here a little bit, but you'll see that really anomalous warmth there above, up into Canada there. And you can see some of these days are going to be close to 30 degrees above average there. And you can see that warmth extending down through the Pacific Northwest as well, including western Washington, western Oregon, and a lot of BC here as we go through the following week. We're now looking out towards the following Thursday. Look at all this warmth across North America. Very impressive there. And the Pacific Northwest will be no exception. This is looking at the daily 2-meter max temperature. So this is where we measure that surface temperature here. This is the National Blend of Models, and this will be for tomorrow. You can see SeaTac at 73. Look at Spokane at 78, Portland at 76. You can see some of the valleys in through Idaho getting into the lower 80s as well. Some of the Columbia Basin into the 80s. Some of the valleys in BC warming up nicely into the lower 80s. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but look how we warm up as we go to Tuesday, Wednesday. Look at that. Portland could get up towards 91 on Tuesday and maybe close to it again Wednesday. Look at that, 97 in eastern Washington, Seattle into the mid 80s. So the warm up is coming next week, folks, and we're going to remain above average. You know, we're starting to average about 69, 70 degrees here at SeaTac as we go into the early portion of June. And yeah, we're going to remain above that. And we're also going to remain drier than normal here, especially western Washington, western Oregon, and a lot of British Columbia coming up. This is day 2 categorical outlook for thunderstorms. It does include Idaho and Montana here. Nothing for Washington, Oregon expected. And again, this will be out chasing tomorrow, probably across portions of Colorado, maybe Kansas or Nebraska as well. This is day 2 excessive rainfall outlook. And we've got this ridge setting up out here. And this is really going to funnel some moisture up into Montana here. Look at this moderate risk for some flash flooding conditions across portions of Montana. This is going to extend all the way into western Montana and portions of Idaho as well. And this looks at 500 millibar heights, and I'm going to put this into motion here and watch out to where my arrow is right there. You'll see this ridge out here. See the spin in the atmosphere? This clockwise spin, it's pushing this moisture up slope here into the Rocky Mountains, and that's what's going to help bring some of that excessive rainfall here over the next couple of days across portions of Montana. And if you look here, you can kind of see that troughing out over the Gulf of Alaska here. I kind of clicked on the mouse there, but anyway, we'll just continue on. This is looking at the European. This goes out 88 hours here. Let's go ahead and just put it out all the way to 90 hours. But this is the expected precipitation over the next 90 hours. Nothing for Washington State. BC mainly blanked here until you get north of Vancouver Island, southeast Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. Check out Montana, getting some pretty big precipitation amounts with that upslope moisture going into the region here. Very moist air mass. This is looking at the European, and this is looking at precipitable water anomaly, and this kind of shows that precipitable water just kind of existing there across Montana, being funneled upslope here by that ridging that just sits out here and spins and pushes that moisture out of the southeast into the area here, and is going to keep Washington drier than normal here as we build somewhat of a ridge across the Pacific Northwest. And you can see some of that thunderstorm potential across Idaho into southeast Oregon as well. This is 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, goes through June 11th there. You can see that above average across a lot of the Pacific Northwest here, and you can see that rapidly drop off as you get into central California and down towards the desert Southwest. But this is 8 to 14 day here through June 15th here. A little bit lower confidence on just how warm we're going to be across Pacific Northwest, but you can see that below average signal across the desert Southwest and the Four Corners there. So anyway, yeah, I'll be out chasing tomorrow, but I should be back on the day Saturday. So I'll be doing my regular briefings then, and I'll get back to normal with that. Should be back to work here about mid-month at Alaska Airlines, but I still have some time here at the end of June. I may go out chasing again. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Yeah, check my Twitter here if you want to watch me storm chase. I'll try to do a live stream tomorrow. I'm still trying to perfect the live stream thing out here. We lost signal today in the first live stream and the second one. Kind of a bad signal. Sometimes it's the name of the game as you're out across the plains storm chasing. But anyway, yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys then, and I'll get back to my regular briefings at home by Saturday. So I'll talk to you guys later.